I did like a test stitch out of just the text, right? And then I did a template, a rhinestone template of like a scatter design around it, but I haven't cut that out yet. So tonight I just wanted to make sure the stitch, because you have to get the sizing right. So I wanted to stitch it out on like a test first, so that when I do the rhinestone, the cutout of the rhinestone flock, that I can kind of measure it up and make sure that the measurements are all right before I do it on my actual real garment, because I only have one of the sweatshirts. I have like a light purple sweatshirt that I found at the Goodwill yesterday. I was like, oh, that would go well with Northwestern. But I only have one, so I didn't want to mess it up. So that's why I did the test. So let me know if you want me to start all the way from the beginning in terms of how, actually, I'll just tell you. And let me know how familiar you are with, thank you, Lemon Brains. Let me know how familiar you are, how familiar you are, how comfortable you are with digitizing as well. Because I actually used a True Type font, and I brought in the font I'm using Chroma Inspire. So I brought in the True Type font, typed out my word, and then I used the auto digitizing feature. Excuse me. I used the auto digitizing feature to turn it into the stitches. Then I exported that as a PNG, brought that into Silhouette Business Edition. So it's quite, a few steps. So I brought that into Silhouette Business Edition. And you're learning your embroidery machine? Cool, me too. Me too, we'll learn together. And this going live, I'm going live every Sunday at 6 p.m. And that's helping me hold myself accountable, because I say, like, it's a learning curve, right? So you don't want to let too much time lapse between getting on the machine and doing something. So in order to hold my own self accountable, I said, well, let me go live every week, and that makes sure that I'm getting on the machine on a regular, consistent basis. So thank you for joining me. Where was I? Oh. So I exported the design as a PNG from my embroidery software, my digitizing software. Then I brought it into Silhouette Business Edition, created an outline, and then turned that outline into the rhinestone patterns using the rhinestone feature within Silhouette Business Edition. Now I know there are a bunch of different, hi Summer Rain, hi Fitness, Biatches, hi Jadid, I wonder if I'm saying that right. Hi Mama Live 5, and hi Margaret. Thank you for joining me. There's some other people here too. I'm on TikTok and I'm on YouTube. And this is my first time trying to do this on both platforms. So give me a little grace, because I'm figuring it out as I go. But I didn't want to let the fear of not knowing how to do it stop me from doing it. So Slay Queen. Okay, so if I'm going to do this live, so if you want to do it along with me with your own design, feel free. That's actually, we'll just do it together. So right now, since I did the practice stitch for the text, I know I got the text right. Now I'm going to hop into Silhouette and print out the rhinestone, or cut out the rhinestone template. That's what we'll do now. Okay, so give me 1 second while I get y'all situated. Okay, there we go. I have to put you guys up on my iPad. Otherwise, it's really kind of hard to see the comments sometimes. But so I'm gonna turn you over to the computer. I wonder if I can. Oh yeah, I can. Perfect. One second, I'm just opening up my Silhouette software for the folks on TikTok. As soon as I get it open, I will as soon as I get it open, I'll actually move so you guys can see. So I'm gonna just open up Silhouette because it seemed like it had crashed. Maybe there was an update. But I'm gonna open up Silhouette, the design that I was working on. Okay. So it's kind of faint. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. But do you see how the Northwestern is right here and then the rhinestone scatter is around it? So basically what I did was I brought in, I'll show you. Okay, so this was the stitch, the export from Chroma Inspire. And I just exported it as a PNG, and this is what it looks like when I bring it into Silhouette as the PNG, right? So what I had to do was I had to create an outline. So you go over to your outline menu. Where is she? Let's see. Right here. Hopefully you all can see that. Sorry if it's a little, but right here, the little double star, that's your outline menu. But, oh, I'm sorry. First, you have to trace it. And I don't know where my trace is. Oh, here's my trace. So first, when you bring in the PNG, you have to trace the area. And I'm going to select this. And then trace it. And you see how it's, the yellow is not fully connected. So I'm going to up my threshold just so that all of that content or all of that image can be traced. And then I'm gonna hit trace. Okay, so now it's traced, I can throw away. Now that it is traced, I don't need the actual image anymore. I can throw that away because I have my outline. But here's something to notice. This brought it in at its own size, 13.714. That's not the actual size of my stitch. So especially when we're doing the rhinestones, we have to um, what am I trying to say? We have to make sure that the sizing is the same, because our rhinestones are going around that, so we don't want it to be off with the sizing. So my image, I'm actually, I think it was 10 point something. I've already got it in the other one, so I'm not gonna, I've already done it in this one, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But if this was the first time I was doing it, I would want to make sure that this size right here is exactly what my stitch was, so that when I create the rhinestone outline around it, it matches up perfectly. And that's another reason why I did the test stitch too, because this is actually my first time doing the rhinestone template. So I want to cut out the rhinestone template and match it up to my test stitch before I actually stitch on my real garment, because I only have one of those. So now that I have my outline, I can go to offset and create an offset. And I think with this one, I'm going to, and I'm just gonna scooch this down so I can show you. This is not the one that I'm actually gonna use, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. But I'm going to offset a couple of times. So you know how they have that splatter effect? It's usually like 4 or 5 different rows of the rhinestone and spaced out differently each one. So I'm going to offset one time. That's my first outline. Offset another time, one more time, and one more time. So I got 4 different, 1, 2, 3, 4 different outlines. Now the first outline, I'm just gonna do a regular rhinestone. I'm using 10SS size, so I make sure that's selected. And I'm just gonna do a regular line, right? Actually, I'm sorry, that's not right. I don't want that one, I want the one outside of that. Let's see. Trying to get one more in. I'm trying to, let me see if I can, I'm trying to get, not that one, this one. There we go. So that first row, I'm just gonna do a regular line of stones. I'm not doing anything special, nothing different. Now, when I get to the next line, the next offset, I'm gonna do this again, but this time, I'm gonna spread it out, give it a little more space and just a little bit, right? And then the next one, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna give it a little more spacing. And then that last one, I'm gonna do it again and give it a little more spacing. So that way, it starts to look like jazz hands. Instead of just being very symmetrical, row after row after row, it starts to fan out. And that's how you achieve that effect. Is that helpful for you guys? Who is this diva? So this is my finished one, but I was just showing you how I achieved that. Okay, so now I am going to cut it out And we'll see, make sure that it matches up with our test. And if it matches up with our test, then we don't have to do any special sizing. Oh, I also wanted to show you one more thing. So you see how in here, there's some extra ones, it goes like up into the word. I don't really like that. I don't think that's necessary. I just wanted to go around the perimeter of the word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that row and I'm going to release the rhinestones. So now once I release them, I can pick each one individually and edit them as I need to. So I'm going to come in here and delete these ones that I don't think are necessary, because I don't want it to dig into the word. I just want it to go around the word. So when you do your rhinestone template, you might have to do a little bit of tweaking. You might have to do a little bit of editing, just to, fine tune it. And in order to do that, you just hit release rhinestones, and that way you can edit them individually, whatever. If you want to move some, like sometimes you might have a G and it's not curving around the G properly and it looks a little stiff. You might want to scoot some over, a few over individually. That's the way you could do that. Reluted? What do you mean reluted? I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, so I'll come over here to my actual one and I've got to connect my silhouette. So give me a minute. I'm going to go connect that and then we'll cut it out. So hold tight. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Like I said, I'm all about figuring it out as we go. And where am I gonna put this? It's a good question. I'm gonna scoop this. Too many gadgets. And my filament just went everywhere, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. I'm gonna set up my my silhouette. Which I should have done beforehand, but I didn't. I was worried about getting it into the house and forgot to set it up. So hopefully that is helpful. If you have any questions up until this point, let me know. Like I said, I'm not an expert on it. I'm figuring it out too, but I will help as much as I can because I thought this was really cute. Seeing them on social media, and I was like, I want to try that. So. All right. So this is my rhinestone flock here. I'm gonna just cut out a piece. I'm gonna take So this is about, I wonder if I could get it this way. That's kind of cutting it close, huh? Dang. That's cutting it real close. So I'll do it this way. Let me go get my scissors. All right, I'm gonna cut some of this off just so I can. And for this test, I just used, I think this is cutaway. It was unlabeled. I picked it up at a fabric store going out of business, so I'm not exactly sure if it's cutaway, but it was the same consistency. So I said, well, I could use it for test pieces. But so this is a layer of cutaway and 2 layers of plastic sheeting. And that's what I used for this one. To do this test stitch. So that was this. And this is cutting it kind of close lengthwise. So I'm gonna go this way. And I'm sorry guys, if it's hard for you guys to see. I will get better at this as I go with the setup and stuff and how to make sure everything is in view. I apologize. I'm sure that's a little bit frustrating. But I don't have the whole sophisticated setup yet. But, so I have my flock cut out. I'm going to put this on the mat so that I can cut that out. And I think there's a special setting for flock. We're about to find out. And I'm just smoothing it out on the mat. So we got our mat ready. I'm gonna load it into the silhouette. All right, it's loaded. So now Let me make sure I've got the right setting. Not sure why it says unavailable. Oh, it slipped out. Okay, that's more like it. It is said that it was unavailable, and I'm like, what do you mean unavailable? So I'm gonna pick my material. For those of you who do rhinestones, which setting do you use? Oh, rhinestone template material. There we go. And is it going to tell me blade depth of 6? So let me make sure my blade is. Nope. And I have a little piece of tape on my machine with this little doohickey, so I could always keep it on the inside, because I got tired of looking for it every time. And so I just put it on a piece of tape on the inside of the cover, so I don't have to look for it no more. So I'm gonna pop my blade back in there. And we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that this works. Okay. So, fingers crossed, you guys. We're gonna see if this works. So now, hi Elodie, Casey Kuhn, and everybody else who has joined. I'm sorry if I can't see the comments all the way through. I'll try to check in. I wonder. Oh, it does tell you about how long it's going to take. It's saying this is going to take 7 minutes to cut all of this out. If I didn't have to hold the camera, I could be over at the machine loading up. Well, actually, while that's cutting, let's hoop our garment. How about that? That way we can make efficient use of our time, right? So I'm gonna go grab the garment real quick, the sweatshirt real quick, and let's get that hoop. But now I kind of trapped myself into this little corner here. I don't want to bump the machine while it's cutting. So we'll see how we're gonna do this. I can't get out. I'll be right back, you guys. I'm gonna go grab the garment. One second. So this is the sweatshirt that I picked up at the Goodwill the other day. I was like, that's a pretty purple. Can you see it? It's so close. You won't be able to see it. But it has a nice mock turtleneck. And we could practice our knits, because this is a very stretchy fabric. And like I said, I had picked this up from this fabric from a going out of business fabric store that was going out of business. So it wasn't labeled. I'm not exactly sure if it's stabilizer, but the thickness and the strength of it to me seemed like it could work as stabilizer, because I can't tear it. It's very strong. So I think this will work as stabilizer. So I'm gonna cut this in half because I'm using my 12 by 8 hoop. So Bentley, hush. I'm using my 12 by 8 hoop so I can cut that in half. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you're working on something yourself. I'm calling this the Sunday Stitch Out. So I'll be going live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we'll work on a different project to keep strengthening our embroidery skills. And I am each week. Sometimes we'll do like a technique or a lesson. Last week we covered tension and the importance of tension. And this week we're doing something trendy. We're doing the blingbroidery. So let me know what you want to cover. Now, let's see how we're going to hoop this. I know this actually has a middle seam. I know sometimes people iron their garment in half to get that middle seam, but this one already has it conveniently for us, so I don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the inside, and I see now why people have mighty hoops, because I don't have mighty hoops, and this is hard. This thing is tough, and it actually kind of hurts your fingers. So I'm going to stick this inside the garment. I'm actually going to move the computer out of the way since we've got it going now. We don't really need the computer anymore. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed that it cuts everything like it's supposed to, and we don't have any issues. We're gonna scoot that on over so we can work on hooping our garments. And that's just so I can see comments, because the phone is too small. We got 1 minute, 20 seconds left on our silhouette stick cutting. And I'm just eyeballing. I know I could get, actually it has a little center groove here. It has little notches on it to help guide. So I see this bottom part isn't centered. Now we got it centered. And that's helpful. I'm gonna try to do this. For those of you out there that don't have mighty hoops, what's your secret or your technique for getting your garments hooped? I'm gonna get some eventually, but it's not a top priority right now. Oh no, I've got some left. I thought I had cut my stabilizer too short. I honestly should have. You know what? I am going to cut a different piece, because that's cutting it too close. I don't want it to be. I cut the piece in half, and I shouldn't have cut it in half. I should have given a little bit extra. So I'm gonna just cut a new piece. Better safe than sorry. So again, I'm gonna lay this in here. And I'm sure there's a better way, even if you don't have mighty hoops. But I don't know what it is yet. So I'm gonna do the best I can. Ooh, that's tight. Loosen this a little bit to try to get it in there. But I definitely see why people get the mighty hoops. Trying to get it in there without actually pulling on it, which is the tricky part. You get one side in and the other side pop out. Hi, Stitching Heart with Shantae. I am doing a bling broidery sweatshirt. So we're doing embroidery and then putting the rhinestones around it. if I could get this dang thing hooped. I'm gonna loosen it a little more. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, goodness gracious. I think we might have it now. And I think we might have it. Ooh, that made me hot. And I can't really tighten it anymore. So that's gonna be, so we got it hooped. So now I'm just waiting for the template to finish so I can make sure the sizing is right. Because if the sizing it matches up, then I'll go ahead and stitch this. If not, we have to adjust the template. And if we have to adjust the template, I might come back and make that a part 2. But we have it hooped and it's ready to go. It's a little off down here. It's not exactly center, but I think that's going to be good for our demonstration purposes. This is just for me anyway. It's just for my own fun. I'm checking the inside. Feels pretty smooth. So it still says 120. That can't be right. Well, hopefully it'll finish up any minute and we can check to see that we're gonna have this right here. One of the other trends that I want to try as well is where the letters, it's like a word floating as its own patch. I think that's so cool. So imagine if none of this white was here. It was just the word and that was the patch. Isn't that cool? I'm trying to figure out how that's done. I wonder if that takes special equipment or there's a way to do it. I'm thinking like you could stitch it on water-soluble stabilizer and then just melt it away and you would have the word, but then how would you get the iron-on adhesive placed exactly right? You might be able, maybe you cut it with either Cricut or a laser and then apply it. Maybe that's how they do it. But anyway, I think that's a cool technique too. I want to figure that out. But one thing at a time. Today we are doing blingbroidery. I didn't realize how long rhinestone templates take to cut. This is actually my first time cutting one. How you guys doing over there? How are you all on TikTok? Y'all hanging in there with me? All right, so the template says the template is done. We'll see if it worked. Oop. You guys, it didn't cut nothing. Oh my goodness. So that was an epic fail. All right. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to come back with a part 2 because this didn't cut a dang thing. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But hypothetically speaking, had it cut out the rhinestone flock, I would have did a test fit to make sure that it fit nicely around my sample piece. And then if it did, I would have went ahead and stitched this out and then applied the rhinestone. But I don't want to stitch it without first confirming that it's the right size. Everything is the right size. Because I only have one sweatshirt of this. And I don't want to get the sizing wrong. So I think we're going to end it there, because I have to figure out why it didn't cut the flock. And I won't make you all suffer through that. So anywho, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope at least a little bit of this was helpful. And join me next week, because I'm coming back next Sunday at 6. I'll be here. This will be a regular series for me. I'm doing the Sunday stitch out. And each week we'll, try something new. We'll experiment and learn together. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.